Hello everybody, I am Dr. Mitch Sutton of the Wellness Way Green Bay. Chiropractor here, been here for 6 years-ish. And we're going to talk about Dan today. Dan first came in, actually he was referred by another chiropractor who I was actually in communication with, and sent him over and it's like, this guy just needs help. He's been dealing with some terrible, like Crohn's, colitis, inflammatory bowel issues, and talking through them. And with this, his GI doctor, basically they give you, immune suppressing medication. I think he was on Remicade forever, and the guy came in and he was just frail. Like he was slowly dying, and they wrote him off, truly. But every route that he went to, nobody was helping him along his journey because nobody was looking at it the way that he needed it to be looked at. And so that's when he came in. So let's sit back, relax, okay? Have a listen. Dan's got some things that he wants to tell you, and listen to his truth.
Hello, I'm Daniel Kustuk, and I've been going to the Wellness Way for about 1.5 years. I'm a coil winder, so I make electrical transformers for a small company up in Antigo. And I do really like doing it because I like the people around me. The job it's fast-paced. The day goes by really quick, and it's just a nice company to work for. And I was really, really thankful that I worked for them during this time, because they were working with me for, what I needed to do to get better. They just wanted me to get better, just so I could do my job. So I appreciate the company I work for sure. I was very sick for about 1 year before I came to the Wellness Way, and I was tired all the time. I was in the bathroom constantly. Didn't want to eat, really. I mean, you have to, but it was a chore. And it was just hard to go to work, and especially I have to drive like 45 minutes to work, so that made it even more difficult. And it was just miserable. I was in a lot of pain, and didn't ever really think I was gonna get a normal life again. So I went to just my regular doctor, and they put me on an antibiotic and everything. They thought maybe food poisoning or something. And it went on for a couple months, because this was during COVID. So a lot of places were shut down or delayed. So when I finally got into my GI doctor, they did the scan and everything like that, found out I had moderate to severe pan-ulcerative colitis. And they told me the only cure for it, if the biologics didn't help, was to remove my colon. So that was pretty scary. They started out putting me on a steroid. I was on a steroid for 3 months, and I was feeling a little bit better. It kind of got me back on my feet. And then after I was off the steroid, they put me on Humira. And when I was on the Humira, it didn't really do anything for me. I was getting headaches from it, and back when I was on the steroid too, I broken out in shingles, so I had a side effect. It came on so suddenly that I was like, there's no way that there's not something else going on. There has to be another answer. So I was going to a chiropractor near my hometown, and she happened to know Dr. Mitch, and she had told my mom about him. So I decided to call the Wellness Way, and here I am. Meeting Dr. Mitch was, it was like a breath of fresh air. He was listening to what I was saying a little bit more. He knew I was in a lot of pain, and I just felt confident that he was going to help me right off the bat. And it took a few months at first to really feel the results, but once I did, I was thinking, yeah, this is the way to go. And he was nice. I mean, as soon as I walked in, he knew me. He asked me about, stuff that we had talked about last time, even though it had been a few months, so he had remembered me, so that was a pretty good feeling. He knew right off the bat that a lot of it was food related, and they did a test and found out that I had not only some food intolerances, but I had some infections in my stomach as well. So he had put me on some supplements to get me feeling stronger again and to kill the infections in my stomach, basically. So after we found out what the intolerances were, he just gave me a really good plan of, avoid your intolerances, and then he said do high fat, low carb, and that helped out a lot. On a Saturday morning, I liked like eggs and toast and bacon, and one of my intolerances was egg whites and egg yolks, so I had to stay away from the bread and I had to stay away from the eggs. So when I had made that transition, there was a lot of things, mainly bread, that I had to get rid of, and I thought it was going to be really difficult, and after about a month it really wasn't anymore. It was pretty normal, and you find out that you can replace things with, there's low carb tortillas that you can look at the ingredients and they don't have the things that you're intolerant to, and it's not a hard transition at all once you get used to it. I didn't necessarily notice, but people around me noticed as my color came back. I wasn't pale, I didn't look like I was frail anymore, and it was longer stretches between me having to go to the bathroom. I could start going out and doing things, and once I had figured out what foods I could eat, it was easier for me to just decide what I was going to eat for breakfast, for lunch, for supper, and I kind of plan out my meals for the week at work, and I started getting some strength back. I started gaining some weight again. I grew a beard. I couldn't do that for 35 years, so that was a pretty big deal for me. And yeah, it was really impressive, actually. I was able to do my job a lot better, a lot of people at work, because it was something where I'd show up and I did the best I could, but it was really difficult to do my work, and they all noticed that, and they noticed I can eat something at a party now once in a while, and it's definitely, they noticed mostly in my appearance that I'm doing better. They noticed I'm gaining weight. That was last time I saw my aunt, who I hadn't seen in probably about 3 months. The first thing when she looked at me, she said, "Well, I can tell you gained some weight now," so that was nice to hear. Moving forward now, I feel like I can actually enjoy life again, do things. A regular doctor is going to give you medication when you're first sick to get you back on your feet, and they tell you that when you come here. They have the fireman and carpenter kind of mentality here, where your regular doctor is the fireman. They put the fire out, whatever the problem is, and then the Wellness Way is the carpenter. They're going to rebuild, everything that was tore down. And coming here is definitely worth it if you want to become if you want your body to start working and functioning the way it's supposed to. For the first time in probably since 2020, I feel like I can go back to being, me and doing the things I like to do, and hanging out with my friends and my family and enjoying parties again, and being able to go to work and do my work, and I feel like I'm me again.
Every patient that goes through, right, you have to look at them as an individual, because somebody may show up with the same symptoms, right, the same issues. Like there may be 5 people that all are dealing with some sort of inflammatory bowel issue or dealing with hormone imbalance, but the issue is, why did that specific health problem happen to them? Where did that inflammation come from? And that's why you have to look at everybody as an individual. And the question is, well, why don't you just actually figure out what's creating that inflammation? And that's what we do at the Wellness Way, right? We look at problems, we look at things differently to solve these issues that other people can't, because it's just changing the mindset, right? It's just looking a different way at approaching these underlying chronic health issues that people have. So if you're dealing with any type of inflammatory bowel issue or any other chronic inflammatory issue, give us a call. Find a clinic near you. We are the Wellness Way, and we're here to help.
Wellness Way stories are glimpses into personal experiences shared between patient and doctors. These insightful stories share the perspective that was captured during their health restoration journey. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more heartfelt content from the Wellness Way.